Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, the HOD of the PSP. Like, share, comment on the video if you like it, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, enable notifications to receive all the updates. Follow us on social media and listen to our podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts or any other platform. As this Friday I decided to be off for personal reasons, I decided to do something different, and I'll be reacting, or sort of by giving my thoughts on the first look for the UFL game, of course, dropped yesterday, developed by Strikers Inc. And, also the Unreal Engine, which is still, by the way, the development engine for PES Pro Evolution Soccer or eFootball, whatever you want to call it. Now, this game is revolutionary, or at least in scope it is, because it comes at a time where I would say PES and FIFA are quite on the down. There's reports suggesting that FIFA is going to be losing some licensing. Also, maybe it's going to be not even named FIFA anymore. Certain reports, rumors, I would say, not reports. Rumors are suggesting that FIFA might lose the name FIFA, the next year for EA Sports. Maybe they're going to call it something different, I don't know, EA Football 2023, something like that maybe. PES is absolutely been, I think, in the mud in the last 2 years. The 2022 edition has been released, then pulled out, then it's promised that it will be updated, and people who played it absolutely probably hated the experience, I would say. FIFA at the moment is doing good, but again, the reports and the rumors that maybe they will lose the licensing, of them issues in negotiations with the actual FIFA, the organization, in the moment for them, and that's definitely going to affect the world of sports gaming and a world of world of football gaming in particular. So that's where UFL apparently comes to be the alternative for both these games. These games have been dominating in the market for 25 years. Obviously, in a kind of Cold War kind of way, but I think maybe FIFA more dominant than PES. The numbers, of course, speak for themselves. They sell way too many copies of FIFA than Konami would do for PES, and they prided themselves on certain things over the last 10 years or so. Konami, for example, prided themselves on slick gameplay, on sort of the authenticity of playing a game of football, while FIFA, of course, being stronger in terms of licensing, being stronger in terms of presentation. They get their presentation very, very good, but little to almost no enjoyment in the real game. Like when you play FIFA, yes, you will enjoy the presentation, you'll enjoy the way it looks, but not enjoy the way it feels when you play, the small details in that game. In PES, it's the other way around, but obviously, as I mentioned, the problems in licensing, or maybe the lack of resources for Konami compared to EA Sports, really set PES back. And also, they did it for their own selves when they released a version in PES 2022 that is just not up to the standards, simply bad. They tried to meddle with the concept, they tried to change the game in ways that it just, the crowds and the fans were not ready for it. I mean, the audience was not ready to this very radical shift in the game. Like, they tried to do the next gen stuff, but they didn't realize that it's not very, it's very marketable at the moment, particularly when you do it in this bad way and not, gradually over maybe 2 years or 3 years. FIFA, on the other hand, they always sell. Their marketing is super strong, that they will sell no matter what. Although for most of the last, 6-7 editions of FIFA, since FIFA 16 probably, there have been problems, and there have been issues, and there have been complaints, and there have been sort of people making fun of FIFA for the glitches, the problems that you don't realize until you buy the game and you play it for long time. The problems start creaking in, the numerous patches needed within the season for FIFA to fix the likes of passing, crossing, and all of that stuff in between. But you have also, as I mentioned, they have a strong marketing department, so probably they get away with it in terms of, sales, and they sell around, something ridiculous like 360 million copies around the world, which is big number when you compare it to the average of PES, which is around 75 to 80 million copies of PES. And I'm saying that because these stats do not count how many people download PES in an illegal way. how many people download it from like a website, or you know, I don't know, a Skid Row or Reloaded games. A site that where is like cracks and patches to verify the game. They don't take into consideration that, but even so, I think the number will still be low compared to FIFA. Maybe it will make around, I don't know, 100 million, maybe 150 million, which is still nowhere near FIFA's 350 million copies, which are only legit, like only the legit, copies that are sold are 350 million copies as average per year. And FIFA 22 will still be doing this number, and I think any EA Sports game related to football that will come next, even if they lose the licensing and the branding, will still sell that number just based on the history, based on the lineage alone, because they will know that this game is, falls in the same lineage with FIFA before it. Now, I realized that we're only 6 minutes into the video, and I didn't actually talk about the UFL game, so let's just focus on that. UFL, as I mentioned, developed by Strikers Inc. and Unreal Engine, which is the development engine for PES. This, as I mentioned, revolutionary game, and it puts itself, and it sells itself as an alternative for PES and FIFA. Can it be the one that ends the domination? Can it be the one that brings a new dimension to the world of football? Now, the concept is still unclear in a way. Like, is it going to be kind of a normal, or the concept was a little bit, foggy in a way before the release of this trailer / first look kind of video from UFL. Obviously, the biggest, I would say, the biggest points that attracted my attention in the first look or trailer is the system they're trying to implement in the online modes, trying to get some sort of fair competition. Not only according to their representative and executives, they're saying that they will put anyone in a class of opponents, of course, like a sort of levels and stuff, and you will get the right competition and you get the right competitor to play against in order to like learn and increase your learning curve. That's according to them, of course. Definitely one of the biggest assets of a game is a fair play, and maybe this is going to be a good omen for those who like to play online. Of course, this is probably done for the FIFA gamers, trying to sway FIFA gamers as far as the online mode is concerned, because we know that the online mode is the bread and butter now of FIFA's marketing these days. The Foot Champions, the My Club, the Ultimate Team is now all of the marketing department for FIFA goes behind these online modes, trying to sell as big of numbers as possible to and try to strengthen this mode actually year in, year out, just to make more people buy the game. As far as PES is concerned, the online mode I don't think has been its strongest assets. We all know that the offline and the gameplay itself is the strong asset for PES, the Master Leagues, the Become a Legend modes. And I don't think that those two will be existent in UFL, so it will be a disappointment for me personally if I ever get to play that game, because I've been, as I mentioned, a PES fan my whole life. I've been a PES fan. I played it almost across all consoles, from PS1 to PC to all the way to PlayStation 5. I definitely want to see these modes being implemented in UFL in a sort of way, even in the future in other editions. The mode apparently of this game is going to be sort of one release, and then it will be updated and upgraded maybe according to the developments in the seasons. Is it going to be an annual release? We don't know. Is it going to be like a year branded release like UFL 2022, UFL 2023? We don't know about that, so we'll see what's going to happen in the future. Onto some of the licenses that they got, or the partnerships that they got, of course. Not exactly big names. I mean, maybe Celtic is a big name, but they got a couple of teams, of course. I mean, decent, I would say, representatives. Borussia Mönchengladbach in Germany, Monaco in France, Shakhtar Donetsk in Ukraine, Besiktas in Turkey, Sporting Lisbon in Portugal, and of course Celtic and Rangers in Scotland, and also #United from England. Of course, #United are one of the I think, most famous social media teams in around the world. Of course, they centered around an actual YouTube channel called #United, and they are actually playing in the 8th division of English football pyramid. I think the team's partnerships are not exactly the biggest thing that UFL has it going for them. Something is bigger, I think, at the moment is the ambassador reveals, because they scooped some of the biggest ambassadors, I would say, they could pull off. I mean, getting the likes of Kevin De Bruyne to be an ambassador for a game is a big coup. Getting someone like Firmino to be that role as well. Alexander Zinchenko from Man City, which is good as well. Maybe that will start a partnership in the future, something like that. But above all that, of course, they got Cristiano Ronaldo to be an ambassador and to be the face of the game, to be the cover star of the game. Obviously, if you pay attention, he's been removed from any sort of PES or FIFA covers, of course, as of late, for numerous reasons, because FIFA lost the exclusive partnerships to Juventus and also to Manchester United, so they can't use his face from Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo himself also switched from FIFA to PES, and then of course PES, with the 2021 edition, they decided they will try and use someone else, and he left Juve, and now they're using Rashford and Upamecano and Chiesa on the forefront of the game. When you went to the game in the menu, Cristiano Ronaldo as a UFL ambassador, big coup for Strikers Inc., and definitely a big hit as far as marketing is concerned, because Cristiano Ronaldo obviously is going to sell them games. Is going to be a draw as far as games are concerned, to sell that to people. The first look and the game, why I talked about a lot of things aside from the gameplay itself, is that because actually it doesn't reveal a lot about the gameplay. I mean, yes, they tell you that there is behind the scenes motion captures, but I think, as I mentioned, it has a lot of potential to succeed, just like it has a lot of potential to fail. We saw a lot of ambitious projects go up and then fail miserably in the past. There's never been a true serious project to try and rival PES and FIFA's domination and sort of monopoly in the industry. UFL comes in and promises this big change, this big sort of alternative, free-to-play, fair-to-play model. They try and make people really believe in the project that they have in at the moment, and definitely trying to convince people that yes, we are here to end this domination and to make everything fair for everyone, and to try and sway as much people as we can towards our camp in UFL. I'm not saying like that. I'm not saying my camp. I'm not saying I might join it. Who knows? But straightforward, I don't really see very much of a success for UFL. Unfortunately, I don't see that. It might happen in the future. Who knows? But for the moment, the scope is too big, and there's only one way really from here. If this game fails, and I'm not saying it fails critically, I'm saying it fails in terms of popularity, because it promises something accessible, something fair for everyone. If it fails in terms of popularity and people do not like it, I don't see a future for it, even if the gameplay is good, even if the graphics are stunning and sort of that stuff, and trying to be as authentic as possible. I mean, it's definitely a big plan and a big project, as I mentioned, to end FIFA and PES domination, which is a hard goal to achieve, and an even harder goal to achieve when you have people still playing FIFA and still playing PES, and it's going to be hard to convince people to sway in and to change their allegiance from FIFA and PES towards UFL if you don't have a real kicker, if you don't have something that will attract them immediately, which I don't see UFL having at the moment. Yes, maybe more details would drop in the near future, clearly, and we will know more about this game in the future, but definitely for the moment it's still very, very vague and very ambiguous in terms of what this game can offer. Obviously, until we play it, until people play it, you will never know the flaws in it and what should be fixed and what not. It looks good, and it looks decent, as I mentioned. Like, it looks very clean, very polished, sort of a kind of very fine-tuned, I would say, from the scenes that we see in the video and we see in other gameplay reveals, and all of that. But definitely we will wait until more details emerge, and of course we will wait until the release is official, or the release date is announced, so we can like tune in our watches and anticipate what is going to be happening in the near future. So that's it. Those were my thoughts about the game. Quickly, I decided to do something different, as I mentioned before, because I have reasons that why I won't do the podcast on Friday. So this, I think, finally I can say that this game, the sky's the limit, but also if it fails, there's only one way, that is down, and it's going to be binned completely, and people are going to be disappointed of that. And that is going to only increase FIFA and PES domination, because there's only one solution that people could revert to if this game fails in terms of the market. But hopefully we don't talk about that. Hopefully this game succeeds, in my opinion. I want it to succeed. I want a lot of alternatives to FIFA and PES, because, you know, you look at sports games. I mean, sports games are almost dominated by 2 or 3 franchises. There's sports that don't even represented in terms of video games. So it's good, I think, to find another alternative to the bipolar opposition and the camps between PES and FIFA anyway. So that's it for the video. Like, share, comment if you like it, tell us what you think, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, enable notifications to receive all the updates. You could listen to our podcast, of course, on Spotify, Google Podcast, or any other platform, and of course follow us on social media. The links are in the description. I'll be putting the link to the original first look gameplay video in the description, so you can watch it, of course, and check it out. Thanks for watching. I was your host HD of the PSP, and until next time, I will see you soon.
Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.